what? Leaving the corpuscle, right? Renal corpuscle. Renal corpuscle is gonna go into peritubular capillaries, vasa recta. Okay, and so this is where red becomes blue blood. Okay, because we're exchanging gas and nutrients. Okay, so trying to find you a picture. Here we go. Believe it or not, we did all this already. Renal artery becomes segmental, which then becomes interlobar, and then it becomes arcuate. Remember this? Arcuate. Okay. And then it becomes interlobular. Okay. Interlobular would then become, so interlobular was also, in the picture I showed you this morning, was what they call the cortical radiating artery. Okay. So, yeah. It's one of those things where they have more than one name. Okay. Cortical radiating artery. So this morning's slides, that's what they called it, cortical radiating artery. This particular textbook seems to call it interlobular artery. Okay, same thing. Okay. Then it becomes afferent. Does that sound familiar? And then that becomes what? Glomerulus. And then that becomes efferent. Okay. Afferent, efferent. And then all this mess of capillary are either peritubular capillaries, vasa recta. Okay. Peritubular because it's around the tubules, or it's around the lupopendli, vasa recta. Okay? Drops off oxygen, picked up CO2, so now we become blue blood, right? See how it becomes blue blood? Blue blood. And if it's blue, now we call it what? No longer arteries, but veins. Veins. Okay, so you kind of go backward. Oh, here we go. Veins. Interlobular vein, arcuate vein, interlobar vein, renal vein. Okay, so the vein is a lot more simple than the artery. And that was his problem, wasn't it? Right here. But I made it more expanded because I took you to the heart. Right? Took you to the heart here. This. You guys understand? Okay, so blood supply to the kidney, to me, is huge. It's major in this chapter. Okay, explain to you juxtaglomerular apparatus. Say, monitors electrolytes in the fluid. That's physiology. It's going to become important in physiology. Okay. So what you need to know is, what the heck is this thing? Well, it's close to the glomerulus, agree? Close to the glomerulus, and it's comprised of the walls of the afferent arteriole and the walls of the what? Distal convoluted tubule. Okay? So what's juxtaglomerular apparatus? Comprised of two things. The wall of afferent arteriole and go back to this picture. Right here. Juxtaglomerular apparatus is made up of walls of the afferent arteriole and the wall of the distal convoluted tubule, this whole thing. Okay? All right. And like I said, running through this really fast because we did most of this already. Okay, so that's about it for the kidney. Then we continue. What comes after the kidney? The urinary tract, right? So the ureter. Now the epithelium changed. What's the epithelium now? transitional. Okay. Forget simple cuboidal, now become transitional. So back the ureter, right? The ureter, transitional epithelium. That's what it looks like. So urine can be flowing down these little cracks here, coming down to the bladder. And take a wild guess, what's the epithelium in the bladder? What do you guys think? Transitional as well. Okay, transitional as well. Okay, so here's the bladder. Walls of the bladder. What do you think? What's going to be found, what kind of tissue in the walls of the bladder? This is, they call it detrusor muscle. Fancy name. What kind of muscle do you think it is? Smooth. Very good. Smooth muscle. Fancy name, detrusor muscle, specific to the bladder. Okay. Look at this word. What's that? Mucosa. And then comes the submucosa. And then comes the musculaires. Does this sound familiar? Yeah. Last week, right? The 4 layers of the digestive tract, remember? Mucosa, submucosa, musculaires, and this was not adventitia, this was what? Serosa. Last week, right? Was serosa. Remember I made a big deal about the peritoneum, retroperitoneum versus intraperitoneal? If it's intra, then we call it serosa. Last week, it was inside the peritoneum. This is serosa. Today, we're retro. We're outside the peritoneal cavity. So the name is adventitia. Okay. Adventitia is where? If it's the layer on the outermost, because we are, where are we? Outside the peritoneal cavity. Okay. Outside the peritoneal cavity. So here's the peritoneum right here. Are we outside? Yeah, we're behind it, right? We're below it. So adventitia is we're outside. Guys, trying to write this down? Adventitia, if it's the outer layer of whatever organ. But the organ is outside the peritoneum. Okay. There's the peritoneal cavity up here. We're outside, we're below it. So the outer layer is called what? Adventitia. And look, what are these little yellow and, red and blue things? Little capillaries. Do we saw little capillary in the serosa last week? We sure did. Okay, so these 4 layers is a recurrent theme in a lot of organs in the body. Yes, Jessica.
Can you remind me what's inside the peritoneum?
Inside the peritoneal cavity was the digestive tract last week. Okay, so that's why the outer layer of the digestive tract last week was serosa, because we're inside the peritoneal cavity. Today we are outside peritoneal cavity. So the name is not serosa, but the name is adventitia. I didn't bring this up last week, but now that you know, outside the peritoneal cavity is adventitia. Where's the esophagus? Here, right?
Yeah.
Is the esophagus outside or inside the peritoneal cavity? Outside. So correctly, the correct word is not serosa, but is adventitia. Okay, the outer layer of the esophagus is adventitia, not serosa. Okay, so that's a minor technicality, but now you know the difference between adventitia and serosa. Agree? Okay. All right, this is a female. Well, it doesn't matter, male or female. But anyway, well, because I don't see a prostate gland. You guys understand? It's a prostate gland to be a male. I don't see one, so okay, I'm going to call it a female. Okay. We have muscle right here, and that's our sphincter. External urethral sphincter. Why do they call it external? Because there's an internal, and that's up here. At the base of the bladder, the neck of the bladder, we have an internal, and And then a little bit down below it, we have an extra. What's the big deal? This is smooth muscle. Does that make sense? Because it's part of the wall here. So that's smooth muscle. This sphincter is smooth muscle. Take a wild guess. Is this still smooth muscle?
No.
Yes or no? This right here. You think this is still smooth muscle? No, this is skeletal muscle. This is skeletal muscle. What's the difference between smooth muscle and skeletal muscle?
Skeletal muscle is connected to the skeleton.
Voluntary and involuntary.
Right, voluntary and involuntary. This skeletal muscle is voluntary. Smooth muscle is involuntary. When we potty train our children, what are we doing? We're coordinating the activity of the involuntary with the voluntary. That's all it is. These two muscles are coordinated for us to pee, yes? We have to relax both to let the urine go. And that's what potty training is all about. Coordinating the skeletal muscle and the smooth muscle so that you can urinate. Okay?
Does it take time after birth for those to?
Yeah. That's why we need diapers. Right? We need diapers for children because they aren't taught how to coordinate those two set of muscles. And so urine just flow whenever it flows. But we don't want that. So the minute we start potty training them and they can control, then you can let go of the diaper and they can wear regular clothes.
I thought it was just more about being able to understand.
Well, yeah, you have to teach the kid to control this muscle. And when they want to pee, they control this muscle. Yeah. Okay. All right. So anyway, make sure you know the layers, right? Repeating themes, not that new. Okay, so don't freak out. Okay, and then the histology, transitional epithelium. Does that make sense? Okay.